There's a big victory for labor. On Monday, students, teachers, and support staff in Ohio's largest school district returned to the classroom after the Columbus Education Association won a new contract after going on strike. So now, Common Dreams reports that gathered at the local minor league ballpark on Sunday, CEA members voted 71% to 29 to approve of a 3-year contract with the Columbia City Schools that satisfies the majority of the union's demands. Now, the demands, of course, revolved around improving students' learning environments and opportunities. Now, here is CEA person Regina Fuentes saying this, quote, "We are so excited to get back to where we belong, our classrooms, doing what we do best, educating our students and shaping the future of our great city." Great. Wonderful. This is great news. Now, I'm going to get into what they were asking for in just a minute, right? But let me just point out that there are a lot of people that, mainly older, but again, some younger, that are anti-union. These are the people that fell for corporate propaganda, and they think that unions are for lazy people, they're for bums, they're just out for themselves. But in reality, they weren't just fighting for their own wages and benefits. They were also fighting for better classrooms for their students. In fact, this list that the Columbus Dispatch pointed out really shows that. And here are some of the provisions that the agreement includes. A contractual guarantee that all student learning areas would be climate controlled no later than the start of the 2025-2026 school year, including the installation of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning in buildings currently without that, and in buildings that currently only have partial HVAC. Now think about it this way, right? There are school buildings out there without heating in the wintertime. And for those who do summer classes, or of course in fall and spring, where you can have really warm temperatures, especially due to climate change, you have these places that don't have air conditioning. I mean, that's horrible. And again, you're cramming 30 to 40 kids in there, in these environments where it can get 90, 100 degrees inside the classroom. No, that's unacceptable working conditions. And just imagine, like I said, if any of the bosses had to put up with that. Imagine in the office, right? You have these executives. You think they're not going to go without HVAC? You think they're going to go without HVAC? No, of course not. Of course not. There's more. Reductions in class size caps in all grade bands, lowering the number of students in every classroom by 2 over the course of the contract. So again, that makes it so that teachers can actually teach better. Sometimes provide students with more individualized teaching. That's good. Now, it also implements the first ever limitation in the numbers of buildings assigned to each elementary art, music, and physical education teachers, with scheduling intended for 1 specialist per subject area per building. That's also good. But look, I'm glad that they've actually stood up for themselves. Again, teachers said, okay, look, we've been trying to get this and you weren't listening. So we had to take this action. We had to stand up because we believe our students deserve better. And not only the students, but also the teachers as well. And again, before they even stood up, their demands were rejected. Fuentes said this: "It is important to remember that just 10 short days ago, at our last bargaining session before the strike, CEA was told no on guaranteed air conditioning and heat in every building. Heat. No on class size reductions in middle and high schools, and no on improved access to art, music, and PE at the elementary level. More than 4,000 of our members stood strong on the picket line. Our community joined in the fight, and we won these victories on all 3 of these issues. And in addition to much needed improvements to learning and working conditions, the roughly 4,500 member union, representing teachers, librarians, nurses, counselors, and other education professionals, was also able to secure better pay and benefits, Again, that's good. According to Columbus Dispatch, the new contract includes this 4% raise each year for the 3-year agreement, the first ever contractual limitation on the number of CA positions that can be outsourced to out-of-town corporations, very important as well, thereby ensuring that our students are educated by experienced professionals from our local community and a paid parental leave program for teachers. The new pact is the result of CEA's first strike since 1975. A whopping 94% of members voted to authorize this work stoppage last Sunday after months-long negotiations with Columbus City Schools, which the union accused of walking away from the bargaining table collapsed just ahead of the start of the fall semester. On Sunday, Fuentes stressed that teachers and support staff nationwide are tired of settling for the status quo and expressed hope that CEA's victory will motivate other workers and communities to take action to defend public education from the long-standing and intensifying attacks that have led to increasingly understaffed and ill-equipped classrooms. Yes, mainly from Republicans who wanted to see public education obliterated, destroyed, wanted to see it replaced by private education by defunding it and causing these conditions in the first place. Again, we wouldn't have these terrible classroom conditions if it weren't for the defunding of public schools. And that has been a right-wing priority. And of course, they'll use that money to then give tax cuts for rich corporations. You see how that goes. So I'm glad to see that that because of labor, they're reversing this trend. Now, finally, this is why labor is so important. We're having a labor moment in this country. About time. People are finally standing up and fighting not just for themselves, but also for each other. So it's wonderful to see, not just with the teachers unions, but also what they're doing with Amazon, what they're doing with, Starbucks and a lot of the other places that are forming these unions that are getting together. And by the way, bypassing some of the older unions that have been ineffective and actually trying to now fight for the workers and to show some of these older unions who have given up so much how to fight